Hey, Shad here with Speed Addicts, the fastest growing gear site on the web. Today we're going to uncrate the all-new LS2 Strobe II. What's up, Speed Addicts fan? Before we jump in and tell you all about this brand new helmet from LS2, do us a favor, subscribe to that Speed Addicts channel. It's only going to take you a click. That way you're up to date on all the latest gear. We're working hard here at Speed Addicts to not only educate you, but give you that first look on the latest gear, and if you subscribe, you don't have to worry about missing out. Also, if you'd like to support us here at speedaddicts.com, you could do so by simply shopping with us. We make it real easy. There's going to be a link in the description below. That'll get you right over to the LS2 Strobe II selection. And there's more than just matte black. There's a bunch of different designs and colors over there. You can check that out while you're over at Speed Addicts. Feel free to shop for any other parts or gear you might need for your next two-wheel adventure. Okay, here we are with LS2 in the studio. If you're not familiar with the brand, they bring a lot of value. This is not some sort of infomercial I'm saying, it's just the facts. They sell their helmets for probably about 30% cheaper than some of the big, shall we say big? LS2 is pretty big. Some of the brands that you've heard of that have been around since, say, the 60s or 70s, right? So LS2 started out making helmets for those labels that you've heard of over the years, and then about 10 years ago they decided to go out on their own with their own label. Here we go, LS2. So the thing is, they drive that value, so you're gonna get a lot for your money here. This is a $169 modular helmet, and by modular, of course, I mean the chin bar comes up. You get the drop down sun visor, and it is relatively lightweight, coming in at 3.5 pounds. That's like good to average for a modular helmet. So they can quickly creep up towards 4 pounds, no problem, just because of the moving parts and that sun visor. It is ready to use a comm system of your choosing, a universal one, or the new LS2 4X by Cardo, which is pretty sweet. More on that in a minute. The shell is actually made of a proprietary material. Whoops. You don't have to hit the button to bring it down. I know I was doing that. Proprietary material called KPA. This is a kinetic polymer alloy. It's a fancy proprietary plastic that LS2 uses. And the reason, and they don't use it on all their helmets, the reason they came up with this, it's like a hybrid between a fiber or glass helmet and a polycarb helmet, because there are aramid fibers dissolved into this polymer material. That allows them to fine-tune the impact resistance, the amount of flex, and it also gives you the puncture protection of those glass helmets, but you maintain the low coefficient of friction when it comes to sliding. So it's kind of the best of all worlds, and it does keep the price down compared to a traditional like carbon fiber or glass helmet, because the labor that goes into it is not as extensive. DOT EC 2206, which is important. That is the latest safety standard, and the LS2 Strobe II is just coming out here in fall of 2023. So we are getting that new European EC 2206 standard, as well as the DOT standard that's required here in the United States. When it comes to EC 2206, that is a stricter standard, and it requires 3 additional drop tests, including the one drop test that was part of EC 2205. So EC 2206 is all new. It's pushing the manufacturers to build a safer helmet. It is making the helmets a touch bigger. We have noticed, especially helmets with drop-down sun visors, they do have to put a little bit more EPS material in here to make them pass these new drop tests. But if, in my humble opinion, if I have to wear a slightly larger helmet to protect my gray matter, I will happily do so. I have the old Strobe here on my right-hand side, just for a comparison, and we're going to kind of go over what's changed and what's new. The cool thing about the ECE rating also is that it's been crash tested in both the closed and the open position, and they call that P and J. Okay, so they didn't just test it in the full face configuration. If you are the person that wants to ride, with the chin bar up, you're not just using that, when you're off the bike or pumping gas or something. You want to ride with it in this configuration. It has been tested as a 3/4 helmet as well. Intermediate oval fit, no surprises when it comes to the sizing. If you just go by that sizing chart you're going to see at Speed Addicts, you should be in good shape, because there are 3 shell sizes, which is good. Average is kind of like 2 shell sizes. They're giving you 3 in a modular, which is expensive for them. They need to make more molds. At this price point, that's pretty sweet. Extra small through 3 extra large. Again, go by the sizing chart and you should be dialed in. Now, when you're shopping for helmets online, I know some folks are concerned about getting that proper fit. Well, if you shop at Speed Addicts, you're I got to worry because we got you covered with no cost returns. That's right. We don't nickel and dime you on that return shipping like those other guys. You know who I'm talking about. We are going to give you a free return label, treat you like family, make the process very simple, get a different color, get a different size, or just your money back if you decide it's not for you. To qualify, you need to live in lower 48 states and make sure the gear is in brand new original condition. No test rides except in the living room, no bugs. Make sure that box is in good shape. You get the picture. Okay, back to the helmet. So let's do a quick rundown of what's been updated, and then we'll do the deep dive on the Strobe II all by itself. First off, you'll notice the venting scheme is different. You get a kind of a larger scoop up here, more pronounced design with more arrow work and just a more up-to-date modern shell, whereas the old Strobe is a little bit more basic spherical design. Down low, the vents, the front chin bar vent has not changed all that much. The rear vent is non-existent on the old Strobe you see over here in the gloss black. The new Strobe II, you do get a passive rear vent, and it is ducted out of that EPS. So improved airflow to keep you cool, which is nice. Of course, the old Strobe is only EC2205. It is a little bit slimmer because of that. You can see that. The newer Strobe II is EC2206. It's going to perform better in different crash scenarios. The face shield itself has changed. You notice the old Strobe has this clunky, out-of-date, big saucer here that you're going to take off and promptly lose and just be a pain in the butt to deal with. Over on the new Strobe 2, we have a more modern, up-to-date internal pivot mechanism there. I like to see that. On the inside, we have a updated liner system that we'll take out of here. They're both quick release mechanisms, so not a big change there. They both have the internal sun shields, and the new one, of course, is made to be integrated with the new Cardo comms for LS2. Okay, that's all for you. We'll set the old Strobe out of the way, and we're going to focus on the new here. Okay, so we have a UV protected scratch resistant polycarbonate shield that is prepped for a Pinlock insert. So you're going to open that with the little tab here in the front, and you do have a few different detents here. So we got 1, 2, 3. There's no locking mechanism, but you know, usually if you're wearing a modular helmet, you're not doing 120 down the straight, so that's not required. There's no sort of clip or button there. Now, a Pinlock insert is an additional lens that installs on the inside of the face shield to reduce or mitigate fog. It is prepped for that, but it is not included, which is not surprising at $169, as Pinlock inserts can run you around $30 and will be sold separately here. You can also get smoke shields if you want to mix it up. Feel free to do so. We have a more up-to-date kind of modern pivot mechanism here instead of that big saucer washer thing, and I like that. It's a good update. The chin bar raises like so. You're going to grab that button in the front here and open it up to show you that internal drop-down sun shield, which is activated over here on your left side. We'll go ahead and pull that up and pull that down. Pretty smooth action there, and you are good to go. Now, when it comes to a comm system, we're going to show you that new LS2 comm system, which is meant to be fully integrated. If you want to use a universal, you do have a clear runway here. You're going to want to use an adhesive mount and just put it up above that trim line. It's probably the easiest way to skin that cat, and you do have internal pockets for your speakers. So don't think you have to use this LS2 Cardo system if you already have your own universal mount. Now, one of the requirements of that new ECE 2206 European standard for modular helmets is to have a chin bar lockout. So if you're going to ride it in the open position and you hit a pothole, this thing could slam down if it's not locked. So if you're going to ride around like this, you should go ahead and engage that lock. So if you hit a bump or something weird happens, the chin bar does not become an obstacle to your vision. If we bring this down, we'll check out the ventilation system here real quick. So first up, we have that chin bar vent. This is a little, I don't know. I'm not in love with this vent. Just the switch on, the action on it's a little tight out of the box, and it's kind of this weird roly-poly switch that's hard to feel for. I don't love that. The top one is a lot more straightforward. This is just a big paddle up on top, easy to work with gloves on, and no real surprises there. As we go to the back, we'll show you that passive rear vent that cannot be opened or closed. That's going to be always on. No trouble here. I like the moldings and just the overall shell design on the back. Again, much more modern look than that old strobe. Let's jump on the inside here. We're going to show you what we're working with and show you the guts of the new strobe. First off, quick release chin strap, a polarizing feature. Some guys will not wear a helmet unless it's got D-rings. There are plenty of reputable companies using quick release chin straps now. I'm not going to make an argument for either. I just will say the convenience of the quick release is quite nice, especially if you're just riding around town and you're on and off the machine quite a bit. It makes it very quick. Okay, there we are. That's the chin strap. Now, up on the chin bar, you do get not only a big breath deflector up here on the front, but you do get that chin curtain on the bottom here. We're going to go ahead and remove these cheek pads, and we're going to show you where that Cardo system is going to come into play here. So removable, washable cheek pads. They do have some holes here in that liner so that you can hear your tunes coming through. Nice, thick, comfy, nice place to be. Let's go ahead and remove the bottom liner, and we'll show you those speaker pockets. I'm going to get a 5-year warranty with the Strobe II, which is probably about 3 years longer than the industry standard. It's nice to know that they're going to back up a sub $200 helmet with a full 5-year warranty when you have all these moving parts. You got the internal sun visor, you got that chin bar moving around on a modular helmet. It is very nice to have that warranty. Okay, here you are with your speaker pocket, okay? So you're meant to run that. You're going to use the boom mic because it is a modular helmet, so you're going to rig up the boom mic and you'll be in business. Let's remove the rest of the helmet liner and I'll show you where, the Cardo system comes into play. Let's get this brow tab off. Okay, here's your comfort liner. Laser cut and thermo welded seams. Really nice, got a little stretch to it. I like that there's not a lot of extra mesh across this. Some helmet manufacturers use too much mesh, makes the helmet hot. This thing is going to circulate and get hair onto your scalp and actually keep you cool. Multi-density EPS liner, again, that's passing that EC 2206 standard. You notice it looks like a crop circle or a peace sign in there with 2 big ports on the forehead area and on the rear to get that Venturi exhaust really cooking and keep your brain from cooking. Now, you're going to notice there's a little puck, right here. If you're going to use the Cardo 4X, the LS2 4X, which is the equivalent of a Cardo Freecom 4X, roughly. If you're going to use this, you're going to hijack this little pocket, and then you're going to mount the control up here on the left side. So it is a little bit more integrated, streamlined than just using a universal Cardo, because that controller that mounts on the outside of the helmet is pretty slim because they're utilizing this pocket for the battery, okay? And then the speakers all drop in. So this is a nice option. It's right around $250. It's roughly the same price as the 4X or the Freecom 4X. And we really like Cardo here. We really think that it is the premier comm system brand. They have a really nice app. It is just great. If you don't have a universal kit and you're going to go with comms and you're looking for a sub $200 modular helmet, this combo right here is going to be pretty nice. Now, I know they are going to roll out the option to buy some of these LS2 helmets with this LS2 4X pre-installed. We're waiting on the pricing. Usually you can save a few dollars by getting it from the factory that way, and they're only usually going to offer that in the matte black color. So you might be able to see that Strobe II in matte black with the Cardo pre-installed. If you're the type that doesn't like to mess with the install, even though it's really not that bad here, you can buy it and actually save a few dollars on the combo. So there you have it. It is the Strobe II. They're packing a lot in here. You get a modular helmet that's EC 2206 with the drop-down sun visor. It's Pinlock prepped. Nice, comfortable place to be. Comm system ready. Again, well underneath that $200 price point. That does it for today. If you still have questions, head over to speedex.com and talk to our writer support team over the phone, live chat, or emails. And then once you get your dirty little mitts on one of these Strobe IIs, let us know how you like it in the comment section below. Never just take my word for it. That's it for today. We'll see you next time to find out what's in the crate.